Welcome to another episode of This Week Live, everybody. My name is Paolo, and today we are going to be talking about bullies, bashers, haters, and negative behavior here on another episode of This Week Live. Be sure to follow our social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We have our own website, and I'm happy to announce that we're finally on Kumu. So check this out. You're watching another episode of This Week Live. So everybody, taas no of Filipino, thank you for tuning into another episode of This Week Live. I'm inviting everybody here to comment where they are from. We want to give a shout out to you who are watching. Tell us where you're watching from. And please don't forget to share that video and subscribe to our social media feeds. But before I get on with the episode, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors. Let's cue the sponsor reel.
Welcome to Kumu, the fastest growing social app in the Philippines. Kumu is a powerful platform for Filipinos. Our users admire us because we amplify who they are: authentic, positive, inspirational, and full of love. Kumu prioritizes the voices of 100 million Filipinos around the world. Since launching in 2018, our app has hit the #1 trending social app again and again, generating millions of downloads, beaten Instagram and Pinterest in monthly installs, and generated tens of thousands of in-app transactions every single day. Meet the world's largest fully fledged social TV network. Thousands of Filipinos are tuning in every day to play Quizmoko, a live stream game show where anyone can play and win money. And every day, our homegrown influencers and mainstream celebrities alike are having fun going live. When Christine Reyes promoted her film Mariyah on Kumu, Google search results for the upcoming film surged 25 times higher than previous mentions, scoring a perfect 100 in interest according to Google. These game shows have become staples at family dinners, inspired happy screams and tears, and resulted in ABS-CBN bringing back iconic game shows Pero o Bayong and Game Ka Na Ba, and Magic 89.9 switching from Twitch to Kumu. Have you met our live streamers? Our community is powered by musicians, DJs, artists, educators, and everyday Filipinos sharing their story around the world. We generate tens of thousands of live streams every day. That's more video content than any other homegrown media company in the Philippines. And brands are lining up. Financial literacy sharing with GCash, 2,500 plus transaction lift per day with Foodpanda, and sold-out Angkas promo codes. Our content burns with the heart, humor, and passion of Filipino youth all around the world. We've been downloaded in over 55 countries, and 81% of Kumu is millennial and Gen Z. Their stories color the Kumu universe with surprise and wonder. Join us in building the future of Pinoy creativity.
What makes CEC a leading provider of globally recognized qualifications? Highly qualified academic teaching staff, state-of-the-art campus facilities, excellent learning atmosphere. Here at Career Enhancement Center, we foster students' growth, creativity, and critical thinking. Follows a UK-based system that is recognized globally. We provide student placement and job internships, exceptional support staff, and academic advisors.
Wide range of academic courses from UK and Canada.
Provides flexible learning methods that is tailored to meet student needs. Global partnerships to over 300 UK universities. Summer registrations is now open. We look forward to seeing you here at our campus soon.
Thinking about your immigration dream? Get a head start today. Sign up with us this July and get an automatic 23% discount, plus free online IELTS training. So what are you waiting for? Message us to book your consultations or avail our free online digital assessment. The Visa Center, shaping a better future.
Thank you, everybody. I want to say hello to everybody who's watching right now, and thank you to our sponsors. We have the City University College of Ajman, which has done big help in actually giving an education to so many Filipino students here in the UAE. We also have Kayako Watches, which is one of the most unique watch brands in the world, actually. It's a brand that focuses their models solely for Filipinas. It's inspired by Filipina legends and empowered Filipino women. And it, you don't really hear much about this, but it actually promotes Filipina pride. Now we always say Filipino pride, but this guys, this is a game changer. And of course, we have the Visa Center, the Visa Center that has actually assisted so many Filipinos in their immigration journey. And we have Gengo Pets, which is actually a newcomer here in the world of Filipino business. Now, if you guys are in the Manila area right now and you're looking for some functional handmade pet furniture, for example, a dog's house that can also double as like a functional table for your workspace, you have to check this out. And of course, last but not least, we have Kumu, which is the hottest live streaming app for Filipinos all across the world with over 5 million registered users and counting. It's the fastest growing app of its kind, and it's our newest social media outlet. So tune into that. So thank you all to our sponsors for making this episode possible. And now let's get to introductions. So joining us for this talk against cyberbullying, haters, bashers, and megastars, we have from Dubai, Mariyah Gaspacho, more popularly known as Mahryska, who's one of the most influential bloggers, influencers, and photographers and fashionistas within the scene. Mahryska, if you're there, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
So, Mahryska, you have a lot of experience with haters, if I am correct.
Not lots, but a good amount.
A good amount of experience.
A good amount, yeah. So I've been on for a long time, so I've faced quite a bit. So a good amount.
Quite a bit. Yep, anybody who's been in Dubai knows that there are a lot of haters here actually in so many of the scenes. Well, in general, wherever you go, and tayo na, we're all Filipino. That's quite normal to see in our communities anyway. And now joining us from the Philippines, she's a makeup artist, actress, and a plus-size model. We have Teena Arches. Say hello.
Hi everyone! Kamusta kayo?
So, thank you for joining us on this live stream. Got a lot of personal experiences to share, right?
For sure.
And you're also on Kumu, right?
Yes, I am. It's a new platform and I'm super happy to be in it.
Super happy, guys. And for those of you who haven't heard about Kumu, Kumu is a live streaming platform for Filipinos to connect and get together all across the world. It's also a platform where you can actually earn cash just by live streaming. We also got awesome game shows and quiz nights to check out. And we're going to be on Kumu as well. So, Teena, hopefully more collaborations to come soon, right?
For sure. Support.
Support. And now joining us from Saudi Arabia, you have the very, very aspirational Hilarion Oliver.
Hey everybody, kumusta kayo?
Riyadh represent.
Hi, so it's good to be back. Thank you guys. Thank you, Lustrado.
No, thank you guys for joining us. And last but not least, all the way from Tokyo, Japan, we have Kenzo Martini. Kenzo, you there?
Hey guys, how are you? Kumusta kayo?
Musta? So, this is going to be a progressive, but at the same time, this is going to be a very personal kind of discussion. We're going to get into the nitty gritty, but we're also going to keep grounded. And, the goal of today's live stream is really just to branch out and get other people to relate. You know that while the title is cyberbullying and negative behavior, we should not forget that cyberbullying is actually bullying at the end of the day. And bullying comes in so many ways. And as we evolve as human beings, as our technology progresses, that kind of behavior will always find a new way to come get at us, especially now that we have our social media platforms, we have our vlogs, not to mention we have blogging communities and all sorts of communities that can be potential conduits for this. So, guys, I'd like to open up this discussion. And Mariska, I want to be the one to ask you first about this one. What is a bully or a hater to you?
Okay, first of all, I know for a fact that I was a bully. Like, I'm being honest about it. When I was younger, I think everyone can be tawag dito, influenced when you're young. So I know for a fact that at some point I was a bully. I did that. I did things, I said things, and as sorry as I am, I can't deny it. But we change, we move on, we get better. Bullies, I think, are those who are, first of all, how do you say? They're insecure. They have problems maybe at home, or they don't know how to vent out probably, or they're jealous of people. They're people who are frustrated maybe with their lives and they take it out on other people. I think those are characteristics of bullies. So yeah.
Definitely 100% truth. And I'm glad that people can actually admit that they would have done these kinds of things before, because the reality is as much as we would like to be romantic about it, there is no one that is completely 100% good in their life, because everybody makes mistakes. Exactly. And I myself, I used to be bullied, and at a point, I actually tried bullying someone, but it really wasn't. Yes, me, I really tried bullying someone, and it was really quite a degrading experience for me, because to me, a bully is someone that just wants to put other people down based on whatever insecurities or whatever image they are trying to project. And I want to relay this question to you, Teena. Based on your personal experience, what do you think a bully can exhibit? What traits do they have? Or what do they do to be called bullies?
I think I think it's natural for kids to go through that teasing phase, because we all grew up kind of having that automatic like insecurity, I guess. But I think a bully is more like people who have insecurities, for sure, people who have been hurt and who wants to project their hurt on other people because they're unhappy, people who love to make people unhappy as well, and like literally you're bored and you're taking so much effort just to bring someone down. Like, I think that's bullying, because that's a lot of people online.
Definitely, definitely. Kenzo, you're the youngest one here, and you're currently going to a Japanese high school. And for sure, I do like to think that when you are exposed in these kinds of environments with different kind of people who are still trying to find their own path in life, syempre naman, you might run into some form of bullying or some form of negativity or bashing or hate, small or big. So, what is that to you?
I'm actually just grateful because so far wala pa ng bully sa akin, like really harsh bullying here in Japan. Not as much as I've experienced bullying in the Philippines when I was there, but I guess I'm just really thankful that I was expecting kasi na parang maraming bullies din dito sa Japan. Me being a foreigner, and of course that's pretty common. Pero yeah, I'm just grateful that they're um going along well with me. I'm going along well with them somehow. Yeah.
That's great, actually. Because I mean, the whole point of this is while we have to relate to each other, we also want to understand that there are different places and there are different people and there are different ways to carry yourself. And this is something that we do here with This Week Live. We try to connect and we try to find what we can relate to and what's different in our lives, and we try to bring that to you. So thank you for that input, Kenzo. Hilarion, what is a bully to you?
Oh wow. Yes. I wish I got the definition of bully from a dictionary or from Googling it, but unfortunately, I really have a pretty rich, I mean, a lot of experience since I think kindergarten. I never finished my kindergarten because of the bullies. So I move on to grade one, and then again I meet a lot of bullies. So I move on to another school. So I transferred to another school. So grade one, then grade five ulit. I met a lot of bullies. They're a gang. So yeah, I pretty met a lot of them. So I guess according to my experience, and there's just a lot of definition of bullies, by the way, of haters. But this is the best description I guess I can give to everybody para makarelate. I think it's one of the quote from Maya Angelou. Haters, they are jealous people. They are insecure people. They are trying to put others down just to put them, to put themselves up, like to make them taller. So they make others smaller to make themselves taller. So yeah, they're just, I mean, I cannot define really what is a bully because there's just a lot of form, but we come from a different form of background or experiences. So I cannot really judge everybody why they become bully and they're literally 100% bad people. Actually, no one is bad. No one been born here like a bully. We all came from a very loving environment. We all came from, from a source of love and kindness. It's just the environment, our experiences, our trauma. So I'm
Yeah.
so thankful that despite all these experiences, yeah, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm okay.
And that's great, sharing your personal experience, because that's actually what I've wanted you guys to share. If we discuss about something and all we drop is facts without anything to relate to, then that discussion is rather fruitless, right? So
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys, what memorable experiences did you have when it came to bullying, particularly in this context? Did you have a memorable experience in which a bully kind of just, left such a mark on you? And I want to go back to Mariska for this one.
Okay. I'm pretty much, how do you say, well known within the community here and within my community in the blogging industry as well. So my experience with bullies or negative behavior and stuff like that spans ng ganon kalawak, basically. So I can't really say which one is like the worst because, to be honest with you, all of them were really bad. It affects you really, really badly. So I've been called, there's the bleep part. Wala tayong bleep dito, so I'm gonna say bleep. Okay, I've been called bleep. I've been called, how do you say, ano yan? Delusional. Like I'm somebody big when I'm apparently not. I've been called trapo, salty. I've been called photoshopped. I've been called all of these things. And I don't want to pinpoint names. I don't want to, I'm past, I'm over it, So, ang akin is, all of these things affects you really badly. No matter how strong you are, it gets in your skin. So that's how it is, you know. So the experiences you have with all of this, it brings you down really badly, and it I guess it's how you deal with it. Yun yung that's the takeaway basically. What you learn
Yep.
from it and how you deal with it, and how you move past it and how you forgive, because a lot of these things are misunderstandings. A lot of it is they don't know any better, and a lot of it is they don't know you, and that's the problem. When people judge you and when people bully you, it's because they don't know who you are and they just want to put you down. They don't know you personally, so they can say whatever they want. They can say na pangit ka or ganito ka and ganito ka. So it's like, but they don't know you. So that's how it is.
Definitely. And these kinds of people who like to hate on other people, I think at the end of the day, as much as they would be insecure, what really classifies them into haters is the fact that they just want to find more and more reasons to make you look different to everybody else. And tayo here at Illustrado Magazine, we've been here since 2006. We're no strangers to that as well. For me, for instance, when I started hosting my first Illustrado show, it was our music show listed back in 2018. People were already hating on me because I didn't look like a Filipino, whatever that is. We're Filipino because we're diverse at the end of the day, but people were saying, why isn't he speaking Tagalog? Oh, if you're going to promote Tagalog music, why don't you have a Filipino host? Or if you're going to do this, why are you going to do that? And then someone was even saying that I have no problem with this guy, but his diction is kind of wrong. And I'm just kind of wondering, well, was there ever really a right way to do things at the end of the day? Not really. And at the end of the day, it's all about persevering and pushing, and of course, pushing alongside the people who can motivate you. And speaking of those who motivate us, guys, I just want to greet our audience. We have Kim Sadiq Alvarez, Chaira Agas, Zarina Alanige, Rian Miranda from Saudi Arabia, McAdam Glenn Pandora, Julius Caesar is also here, Ramil Oliveros is also here. Ian Guerrero is also here. We have Tita Ayuso from New Jersey, Junie Susano, Les Fiestan. We have Janet, Irish, Ina, Pauline, Johan, Precious, Chris, Betong, Edan, Seisuke Fukuda, and Alwi Villarosa. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. We have a very global audience today. So hello, and please tell us where you are from. Tell us your personal experiences as well. And now, I want to go back to personal experiences here because that's what really defines us as people. And Tina, you would have gone through a lot, especially being in the Philippines, and you know that Filipinos always have this way of comparing each other. And they're not afraid to point out the differences. And one of the biggest triggers for me actually is when they go to you and they say, "Oh, tumaba ka na," and that's peer pressure, and that in itself is, I think, negative. So what can you weigh in based on your personal experience?
I love how we're all Filipinos because everybody can relate. Because we parang I feel like in the Philippines kasi saying unsolicited comments have become very acceptable when in reality it shouldn't be. Everybody feels entitled to say whatever they want, and every on the receiving end is always just like, oh, opo, opo, like they're just supposed to take it. So like growing up, I wasn't really bullied because I think, okay, let's be honest, Filipinos have a very parang Western appreciation mentality. I'm not pure Filipina. I'm obviously mixed. I'm taller. I'm bigger. I'm not the typical Filipina. So I'm fair. So people not bullied, but like they insulted me for being fat. Pero they kind of forgive me because I'm maputi and I'm pretty and I'm tall. You know what I mean? Like may mga ganong factor which dapat shouldn't have anything at all. Like you just shouldn't bully people at all, right? So like I've always been teased that I was bigger, but I was never really bullied to the point that I'd cry myself to sleep, blah blah blah. But those teasing words and actions really stayed in my head. So like I grew up very insecure. I grew up no matter what people say na, okay lang maganda ka naman, or okay lang, ganyan, ganyan. Like, it doesn't matter because those little compliments parang were so little that the insults outweighed it. You know what I mean? So, like, parang, I wasn't bullied, but I grew up super duper insecure. Super insecure that it held me back from the things that I wanted to do, like pursuing acting. Well, now I have, but like before, it really pulled me back. I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I was so shy that people were gonna say something even when they weren't. Parang there's a paranoia. There's some sort of reaction that I'm already paranoid within my head because of that. So that affected me growing up, but I also managed to use it now to make a stand, to break the grounds and try to prove it to them about things. Like, Filipinos have a long way to go. It's not just Filipinos, like everybody in the world. But I
Definitely.
just I just feel like Filipinos have a lot of work to do. But
Definitely,
we're gonna
and
get
that's
there.
very true. And that's very true. This is actually a point where we can relate actually, because I was not the biggest kid, but I don't know why people were fat shaming me when I used to be in primary school, in high school, and
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did have some phases where my weight went up, but I don't think it's your right to actually comment on other people's features because they don't belong to you. And it was only at that point when I realized that all the fat shaming, all the teasing, I was popular because I was a loner. I don't know how that works. It's a paradox. I'm popular because I'm unpopular. Like, that was me in high school, and even my first year of college. So it's really weird. And then I just figured at that point that I think they just want to attack me because they want to offload some kind of stress onto me. And there I am, just being on the receiving end because I'm the quiet one. I'm not the one that always asserts his personality directly. But that being said, it always makes us evolve for the better. And Kenzo, even if you were in school or even if you were not in school, do you remember any kind of experience that did have an impact on you, whether it happened to you or it happened to somebody you know?
Yeah, I actually sorry a while ago. I was like talking up more about my life here in Japan, but I would like
It's all
to
good,
talk more
naman.
about my experiences in the Philippines because I live in the Philippines almost most of my life. So I guess it was at the sixth grade. I guess it was physical. It was a physical kind of bullying, and it was from. It started from teasing, and as kids, like what they say. It happens, but it got worse to the point that it got physical. The guy got physical with me, but I wasn't that kid that would fight back. So all I did was just keep quiet, and then if not for my mom finding out with like bruises and stuff like that, I wouldn't have the courage to report it to the my teachers or the guidance counselors. So yeah, I guess that's really one of the most moving times of my life because if not for that, I wouldn't also be here. Like, wouldn't have the courage to talk about bullying. And I tama si Ate Tina kasi like people would tease you with like little things like even like bata ka diba? So you wouldn't really know your self-worth at that time. Pero growing up, that would make you insecure. And di mo nalalaman na doon pala nanggagaling yung insecurity mo with those little teasings and the past bullying that has happened to you. And
I can definitely
she's a
understand you there.
yeah.
Yeah. Because sorry, continue.
No. Yeah, I just wanted to I'm saying that I'm agreeing with Ate Tina kasi that also held me back from what I wanted to do as a kid and growing up, like pursuing music and like acting as well. But I only had the chance to do the things that I love when I went here, when when I was mostly alone. And yeah, and I don't think I'd be here right now if I was still in the Philippines for some reason. But yeah, I kind of um, look for a way to fight those fears. And yeah,
Yeah, I think what's important here actually is that when you're in an environment when you're in an environment, especially in a place like Asia, when the culture revolves around you're standing with a lot of people, it's a pack mentality kind of thing. It's all cultural, families, friends, each other's neighbors. I think to be very acquainted with everybody, sometimes there will be instances where people actually control and define your image instead of you. And to be exiled from that kind of, well, not really exile, but to distance yourself from that kind of community and be on your own, I think that will really help depending on the person that you are. Like, you've gotten into music, you've gotten into acting as well, and this happened when you were away from the Philippines. Me, I got into dancing, and I only got into writing and poetry and expressing myself only when I was in college, because it was then when I realized, okay, I'm on my own na. Ibang mundo na to. This is a new world, and it's time for a new me. But actually, going back to people defining your image, Kenzo, since you're in Japan, I'm sure you would have heard of this by now. Not too long ago, there was a very big suicide that actually covered a lot of newspapers. And if you're familiar with the show Terrace House, you would have known that that day we lost our dear own Hana Kimura. And for those of you who don't know what happened, Terrace House is actually a slice of life show where set in Japan, where they get a bunch of strangers, mostly in their 20s to 30s, that kind of age range, and then they live together, and then they just kind of develop, they develop bonds with each other, sometimes relationships, and they get to know each other, and some rivalries would come out. What ended up happening was that I think for all the wrong reasons, a lot of people are actually hating on Hannah. And then there's one day we found out that she committed suicide, and suddenly the world stopped. But when I went to her Instagram and everything, I saw so many people bashing her, and so many people were saying she's this, she's that, and surprisingly, well, not very surprisingly, actually, a large portion of the bashers were Filipinos. So I think
Wow.
that's something that we really need to work on. For all the reasons you don't like someone, that does not mean that they deserve bad treatment. That does not mean that they should commit suicide. In fact, if they are showing the suicidal tendencies already, then that's more of a cause to help rather than to continue attacking somebody, diba? And
sobrang babaw nung pinag-awayan nila. I'm sorry, sorry. Sorry, pero yeah, it was really like not that deep. Then just because of that, nabully siya. And people just don't take bullying the same way as like everybody else. Like magkakaiba tayo ng pagtanggap sa bullying and sa criticism. So siguro kung ako yung nasa lugar niya, siguro I'd feel the same. But yeah, iba-iba kasi tayo talaga.
definitely, definitely. And actually, Hilarion, you yourself, you told us earlier that you have a lot of experience with bullies, bashers, and this and that. So, what experience can you share with us? Actually, before we move on to the next portion, what experience can you share with us when it comes to that? Like, what was the most memorable one for you?
Actually, this is quite odd. This is quite peculiar because back in the Philippines, I remember I'm this shy. I'm not really shy, but I'm this flamboyant, happy-go-lucky guy in the school. So I think I'm really active in curricular activities, in classroom, participation. So I get to attract jealous, jealous people, jealous kids. And then I think that's the main source of bullying there. So they feel insecure about me being confident and then compared to other kids because sa atin I mean I look different. I have uh yeah, I would say that I look different from the other kids, and they have their barcadas, they have their friends, and I'm always like lonely. But then I'm so active with a lot of stuff. But you know what? This is a lesson for everyone. Okay, despite all the bullying I experienced, okay, this is a lesson for parents, by the way. Hindi ako ganun naapektuhan. Okay, it was easy for me to fight back or to cope up with this kind of situation because when I get home, okay, my parents, my family, they are so loving, they are so caring. I have this solid support system that even though I don't share my experience at school, they do take care of me. They always remind me of good values, and then they always remind me to be confident, to be kind, to be nice. And what I feel sad naman kasi not everybody will have a family like mine. So what will happen to those children, to those kids, when after school na bully sila, then they gotta go back at home, then another abuse from their parents. So kaya on my social media, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, I'll make sure na I always try to share something good, something nice, kindness and love sa mga strangers, kahit hindi sa social media, kahit sa totoong buhay. If I'll notice someone who doesn't feel good, who doesn't look like, healthy, or they look like sad, I really try to reach out because we don't know, they're going through something. And maybe our kindness na lang, our kindness, our love will touch them and will inspire them to be, to feel better. So yeah.
Definitely. I think what's important here is that while we do also have to discuss how bullying has evolved along the times and how it has evolved along with our experiences too, we should not forget that everybody goes through something different. Not everybody here is completely
Exactly.
blessed with the same roof over their heads. Not everybody is blessed with an amazing support system. Not everybody is blessed with a mom and dad to be there all the time. So now talaga the emphasis is not just on how to grow from it. Now the emphasis is that in this day and age where social media is everywhere, depression is at an all-time high, suicides are getting higher and higher. Now it's all about how you can cope with it, how you can help other people in need, and also how to get back at the bully or at the hater or at the basher without necessarily inducing more harm. And
Yes.
Mariska, I want to go back to you for this one. How do you deal with it all? Sorry, there's a fly here. Sorry. How do you deal with it all? You being very well known in the community, you having seen a great deal of people. It's a kind of community where people will be your best friend, and then one day, wala na.
True.
It can happen all like that. So,
True.
how do you deal with this? How do you get back, or how do you cope?
Um, First of all, as you said, um, a lot of people are fake. So I always try to put a wall, and I guess yung wall na yun also gets me into trouble because that's where the bullying starts in the first place. Kasi sasabihin nila na masyadong suplada yan, ganito yan, ganito yan. So, but they don't know that in reality, I'm just trying to protect myself because I know that you can't be friends with everybody. Normal yon, diba? I'm not gonna pretend to be your best friend if you're not. Alam mo yun, I'm honest enough to say that. So, but I will be civil with you. I will be nice to you and, have a conversation. But that doesn't mean that we can, I can be your friend. So a lot of people are fake. And then, ano na nga yung question? Sorry ha, ang daldal ko kasi. So, yeah, what were we talking about?
We're talking about how to cope with all of this situation.
So me, what I usually do is, I put up the wall, and I'm a very confident person kasi. So deadma ang lola mo. So I try not to let it get into me. in a sense that if you don't like me, then okay, balang sa buhay mo. Ganun lang. You know,
Ganun lang talaga.
there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to please everybody, and that should be a given already. And I think the problem is when you're young, you want to please everybody, diba? But as you get older, it doesn't matter anymore. What you want is real relationships. What you want is real connection with people. So
Real connections with people, indeed. Yes.
if ayaw mo sa akin, I have no problem with that. But let's be
Yep.
civil. You know, I mean, yun yung akin. Let's try to be civil because I don't want to pick fights with anyone. I don't want to, ruin anyone's day or life or reputation for that matter. So for me, I live my life, you live your life. Tapos ang usapan.
Definitely.
Diba?
I think a big part of being young actually is that we go from this idea that we're in a bubble and we slowly begin to realize that the world is simply not made for us. And I'm saying that in the best way possible, in that now it's really, this is where our relations are put to the test. This is where your knowledge of people is put to the test. I used to think that my high school barkada were going to be with me for life. They would be there when I was being picked on, or I thought all of these things would happen. I thought the same people who would bully me in high school were the same people that would bully me in real life. But then I realized that, oh, the world is bigger. The world is bigger, and that's more room for us to grow, make new meaningful connections, like you said. Oh, and by the way, Mariska, we have Ashi in the audience right now, and I know you two are very close. And yeah, def relations, all about making good relations. And I'm just going to do some audience greetings because we have a lot of people actually tonight. A lot of people are sharing their experiences. I'm going to give a shout out to Pau and JL. We got Don Maki in the house. Haiku, De Sesto is here. Carla Bygrave is here. We have Angelo Villar. We have Leyan, Elijah, Ariel, Helena. Bang Emong is also here today. We have Jane, Ariel, Brian De Gracia. We have Cham, George, Maricar, Cindy, Nikolai, Keith Walter, Agnes Briggs, RJ, Precious, John Mark, Manny, and so much more. Sorry na lang ha if I butchered your names. No, at the end of the day, going back to relations though, I think it's all about it's all about finding out the people who like you. And this is why we do what we do, because we want to tell people that they're not alone. And you can talk with us. I think we should not forget we are human. Respect demands respect. It does not demand familiarity. If you can talk, then I can talk. It's as simple as that. And if you want to get too overly familiar with me, or if you want to trot on me, then no, that's not how it's gonna work. Yes, you have to. You gotta learn how to. Yeah, you gotta learn how to be sassy, because that really gives you some bonus points. Yeah. And Teena, you're a makeup artist, you're an actress, you're a plus size model. You would have had to clap back at so many people in the industry, especially like in one like the Philippines, and in general. Fashion is no joke. A lot of people take it seriously, and at the same time, just even being remotely involved in that industry, you can tell a lot of cutthroats. There's a lot of rumors, backstabbers, and a lot of people who will, they're just gonna shut you out like that. So how do you deal with that? How do you get back at them?
Actually, the first time that I tried to get myself out there, people were discouraging me. They were telling me not to because they might say, I mean, I get it in a protective perspective for my relatives and stuff like that. But for other people, they were just so scared of seeing something new and different in the media. Pero ako kasi, I've always been the type na, oh, you don't think so? Then okay, I'll show you. I've always been the type, thank God, that may ganun akong confidence that was built in, sabi ko nga. But, like, for me, like you said, I have had experiences with bullying, stuff like that. Pero I never really got super down from it where I can protect myself. Because in my head, I'm like, no one else can protect me but myself. No one else can stand for me other than myself. So that's what I've always done. And parang I faked it till I made it. And sometimes it works. It worked for me. Sometimes you just gotta do it. And you're right. You have to have a thick skin entering that kind of business because you're putting yourself out there. Honestly, when I was younger, I was so, I mean, I'm still nice. I'm not saying I'm a toot. I'm not saying I'm that. But I'm more, like you said, I'm more sassy now. Like, I have less tolerance with comments. Parang before, when they would say na, oh, kain ka pa ng kanin, di ba? Ganyan. Parang before I'd be like, oh, okay. I would take it and then parang cry about it later. But now it's like, you have to create, like when you know you've had enough, that will drive you to standing your ground to people and protecting yourself. Eh. When you know that you just don't deserve things, you will have that passion or like burning drive to just stand up for yourself or somebody else. Eh. Like I saw that during in college na my blockmates were making fun of this other classmate that we had. It was weird. But like what's it to you if she is different? What is it if she is weird? If she chose to wear this over what's trendy. So like I defended them. Friends ko rin yung nambubully, pero I still told them what they shouldn't do, blah blah blah. And the way that that girl showed her appreciation towards me, parang gave me that like parang it made me see na you know what, it feels so much better sticking up for people who can stand up for themselves. Because like you said, not everybody has the guts or voice to talk to people. Not everybody has a platform to do that. So
Definitely.
when I started vlogging like 9 years ago, like I knew it was gonna be a platform, but it's only been recent that I realized that I could use it for the good and I could use it for like even for plus size people. Like I started with just the plus size girls, and then it became to like from body positivity to self love to like a bigger audience, and now it speaks for everyone. Self love is for everyone regardless of your age, like race, whatever.
Definitely.
No.
And again, relation point here, we can definitely relate to this because at some point when you've just had enough
Mm,
and when you want to become sassy but sometimes you don't know how
mm,
to do it, finding it begins with finding how to love yourself. And I used to be called a lot of names in high school. People used to play games and then they used to say things like they would play rating games and then they'll rate the class from like the most handsome to the most ugly in their terms. And it was also sports. Even in sports, they're gonna do last pick and everything. At some point, I would have been at the bottom of all these lists, and that's because people people wanted to people were just kind of pushing me to the side because I didn't have much of a personality then, that I'll admit. So one of the ways that I taught myself to build on my personality was I did this. Every day that I would go to college, I will go to the metro, and then there's usually a very long overpass before you go to a building, right? I made a deliberate decision that every day I'm going on that overpass, I am going to put my chest up, my shoulders there, okay, shoulders angled, and I'm gonna catwalk the entire middle of the overpass. I'm gonna model it. I don't care if I'm a model or not. I'm just gonna do it. And you can stare at me. You could do what you want. I'm not listening. I'm doing it for myself. And
right.
that's one way that you have to do it. Now, Hilarion, you've been called a lot of names, and I've even seen on your platforms nga, people are hating you, and a lot of people are calling you what? They're calling you a piece of toxic positivity, or they're calling you fake or ingenuine, or you're not even a real person. How do you deal with all of that?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm so thankful that of all things that God blessed me is my, is my faith and on my belief that love and kindness and good will always win at the end. So I also believe that in this world there's always negative and positive. Okay, so no matter what we do, no matter what good we put up on our social media, whatever we share on our social media, kahit gaano pa yan kaganda, there will always be haters. There will always be like people who will oppose it. So if for those, aspiring bloggers, they want to be like a social media personality, we should accept this. If you want to put ourselves there in public, there will always be like haters, there will always be like people who will reject you. But sometimes we should not shut it all, like at all. We should listen to it because there are like positive criticism as well. Okay, we should not be blinded na lahat na lang nag-oppose sa post natin is negative na, haters na. So I filter that also. But at the end of the day, ang iniisip ko, ang sinasabi ko sa sarili ko, these people, they are insecure, they are haters, they are bullies. It's because they are going through something. They really have bad experience in their lives. Because a normal person, a good person, or a sane person will never put down others. They will never call others names, nasty adjectives or description. Never a good person will do that. So if they're doing that to you, they have this, they have this trauma in their life. So what I usually do, there's a process for me to react to them. Okay, number one, okay, this is the fastest one. I will block them immediately. Like if they are really negative to the empower, like they have this very nasty, hopeless, done. I don't want to deal with them. So this is the fastest way, block them. Number two, okay, to reply them with kindness, with logic. Because sometimes, people will always react to them. So they expect that you will be unkind to them also. So magagalit ka, definitely, if they're gonna call you these names. But for me, I understand where are they coming from. So maybe my kindness, my kind words will wake them up na, oh, hindi pala lahat ng tao sa social media ganito, and there will like good people talaga who will respond me or will touch my life in this way. So and then the third part or the third process, kung talagang they are harassing you, they are using threats na, screenshot them and report them. We have our cyber law now, so we can always report them.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is how I deal with them.
It's great actually that you have a process, because at the end of the day, if you have a process and you are methodical in your execution with dealing with these people, it really goes to show that you have thick skin. And I think thick skin, no matter how old you are, it's something that we all need, because as much as I do hate to say it, we cannot afford to be fragile all the time. And at the same time, sometimes you really just have to put yourself forward, and you just have to consider the consequences later. I have a very favorite line from a very, very good series. And the line is, "We do not have the luxury of shame. So let's just get on with it." And speaking of thick skin, actually, we have a comment here from Chaira Agas, and she says, "Millennials should learn to develop thicker skin. We need to be less overly protected because bullies get empowered only if you acknowledge them. Take it from a bully herself." Ayan, Chai. Thank you for coming forward. It takes a lot of heart to admit that you've done something wrong, and it takes a lot of heart to even forgive somebody. So Chai, thank you so much for that comment. And now I'm gonna.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure, Teena. What's
Can
up?
I just add? I totally agree with Hilarion because it's so true. Haters will get tired. Honestly, most of them, eventually they will get tired. So block them or ignore them, because the more we notice them, the more empowered they are. That's very true. And sometimes they even live off of the annoying expressions. Alam mo yun, the more pissed off you are, the more they love it.
Yes.
So if you just ignore them, it's like they're gonna be fighting with the wall. It's pointless, and they're gonna get tired of it.
Definitely. Even here at
Exactly.
Ilustrado, I'm not gonna lie, we do have a kind of image that goes out there, and a lot of people like to label us as elitistas, or they like to say that we are clasista, that we are these rich people that are looking down on the poor and everything. But the reality is that everybody's human, and you don't know who you're insulting. You don't know what's happening until you see the other perspective. And at the same time, allowing yourself to see into other perspectives also gives you thick skin, And it also gives you more knowledge, actually, depending on how close the person is, to be able to deal with it. Like Ashi here was asking, how do you deal with bullies that were close to you? And I want to ask Kenzo, did this ever happen with you? How do you deal with it?
Yes. One time, the guy that actually bullied me, like back in sixth grade, I'm actually good friends with him right now, which is like kind of crazy. But there was a long process of how we became good friends right now. Maybe it's also because we've matured over the years, and we also had time to talk to each other and address the bullying problem that was going on with him. And yeah, but if I want to share about like how I kind of
Of course, go ahead,
uh,
please.
because it was I think eighth grade. There was a lot of people giving comments about my weight and how I was really not really fat but like chubby, and I was really small at that time and really cute. But like but yeah, I was really small at that time. I admit. And I was like, I was so done with it. There came a point that I was just so done with those comments. I was like, okay, I'm gonna join the CAT, like ROTC kind of thing, and I'm gonna like do this for myself, and not because I wanna like prove them that I'm I could be stronger and this and that, but I did it for myself to gain confidence with myself and to prove them that I'm so much more than my weight and my height, and you know I can go through. And I was really that kid who likes to, even up to now, I still like to challenge myself with some things. So it was totally new for me to join the safety training for 2 years in high school, and that changed a lot with me, like in me, and with the people around me, and how they treated me as well. Siguro yun bonus na lang din na like siguro dahil kailangan they had to like show respect, I guess. But um best part with that, I guess, was me trying to go into something out of my comfort zone, and finally learning how to be confident with myself, and realizing that I can do more, than just being than just sit there and like cry about stuff. Yeah,
Definitely,
became
Kenzo, and thank you so much for sharing your experience, because at the end of the day, the road to confidence is never an easy one, and you're gonna make a lot of friends and a lot of enemies along the way until you realize that you don't need to depend on people. You don't need to
yeah.
depend on people. And me in college, I had well, not the exact same problem, but I would have made friends and I would have made enemies. I also would have made peace with a lot of people that I used to fight before. All it takes is a little bit of growth. It takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I think, and then this is actually something that's very hard. Something that's very hard for even bullying victims to grasp is that um, if you really wanted to stop, just let somebody grow, and grow either parallel or alongside them, or grow away from them. And at the end of the day, when you two meet again, things will have changed. Things will change because you allow each other to change. And speaking of people changing, Mariska, how do you deal with haters that were once familiar to you?
Um, to be honest, I don't like holding grudges, and I don't like taking things because it hurts. It hurts here. Don't want to be too emotional, pero it affects me here. So when I'm angry or when I'm hurt, I don't like holding on to it. So I try to just move on as much as I can. Um, I think the best thing is to talk about it if you can. And if not, if that discussion is not open, because a lot of these people, as I said, they're not really close friends. Like personally, the people that I've dealt with, I'm not as close to them, or they're just like random people that I've met along the way. So they don't know me. So for me, it's just being able to move past it, and then forgiving. Forgiving is a very hard thing to do, but you need to, because they don't know any better. You do.
That's very true.
So
And
it's important that be the bigger person, and because yun nga, it will affect you so badly. And later on, I know we're gonna talk about it, yung how badly it affects yung bullying to some people. So if you don't want yung hate na mag-instill sa'yo, you need to be able to move past it. You need to be able to forgive, and you need to be strong enough to just move on. So
definitely.
if they're friends or you don't know them, yeah, as I said, kung ayaw mo sa akin, bye. And if we can work it out, then let's work it out. It's as simple as that. For me, ganun ako kadaling kausap. Like,
and if it doesn't work out, then girl, bye. You know,
as
definitely.
I said, you don't want to force relationships. You don't want to force connections. It happens gradually. So dapat ganun. In
Dapat
anything,
ganun talaga.
anything that we do, in anything that we go through in life, don't force it, because it should happen naturally. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if it does, then good. Good on you
Definitely.
both. Diba? Good on you both.
Amen
and,
to that. Amen to that.
Yes. As you said. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is it takes a lot of heart to forgive, and it takes even more heart to actually move on together, you know. And I always there's a saying that I mean I kind of made it up, but I always say that power comes from those who have the ability to give. It's not necessarily built up from within yourself. It's defined by your capacity to give, your capacity to help, and your capacity to just be courageous about something. And you know, this is also a very personal topic for me, because you know I've made so many friends and I've made so many relationships with people that the amount of relationships I've made can be the same amount that I can easily break in one go. You know, especially today, we're all emotional, and let's not forget that you know, we're in the middle of this pandemic. A lot of anxiety has been going around. It's so easy to become sensitive. And I don't know if y'all read astrology, but for those of you, I'm a Pisces, so that says a lot already. But moving on from that, actually, I wanna ask you guys, and Hilarion, I want a simple answer from you for this one. Will you step in if you see somebody getting bullied? Will you
Yeah,
intervene?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm in front of that situation for a purpose, and if I have the wisdom, if I have the experience to meddle on that, of course, with safety precautions, because sometimes there are different kinds of levels of bullying. Sometimes it becomes physical or verbal. It depends, actually. But of course, I will be there in the middle to understand the situation and help to let them understand also that bullying is really not the way, and that there's just a better way to live in this world, in this situation, in this setup, in harmony. Because uh sometimes we just need people, a good influence, to be on a better position. These bullies and these victims, they don't have influence in their lives na makakapagturo sa kanila what's the way. So if I'm on that situation, yes, definitely.
Definitely, definitely. You know, if a situation happens between two people and you cannot foresee the outcome being any better, and if you know that you yourself are the better man, and if you might be in the capacity to at least lend a little
Yeah.
bit of advice Or,
Yeah,
it's as simple as putting your hand on someone's shoulder so that they can stop the anger. You know, it's
exactly.
all
Yeah.
about just playing your cards right so that you can get the best possible outcome. I always like to say that this is a very cold business sort of outlook, but I really do think that friendships and relationships are investments. You're not in it for the short run, because at the end of the day, no matter how much you try to deny that, oh, you're just there for the ride, you want it to turn out well. You want it to turn out well so that everybody feels fulfilled at the end of the day. Tina, you being at the position where you are right now, you're in the position to speak up for so many people, especially plus size women who are really just. I really feel that a lot, especially plus size women, there's a lot of unnecessary pressure that goes onto them. So you already being able to share your story is actually intervening and actually helping out so many people. It gives them the advice that they need. So, what input can you weigh in on this matter? Would you intervene directly still, or would how can I say this? How would you intervene rather?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I have done that multiple times. Because, like, when you start getting passionate over certain advocacies, kasi you you're very quick to act on it. Eh. Like when you 100% believe on something, parang natural yung defense mechanism mo na. "Ah, excuse me, what did you say?" Like, you know what I mean? Parang for me kasi, be careful what you tolerate because you're teaching them how to treat you. Eh. So if you keep tolerating bad actions, then they're just going to keep doing it. So for me, when there is something done that I don't like, when I mean, logically it's really not right talaga to call people name for nothing, blah blah blah. I will really say something about it, whether it's a famous person or not. Or parang for me, I feel like people should be held accountable then for what they do it. Lalo na if they are in a platform where a lot of people are following them or a lot of people are looking up to them, they should definitely be responsible for what they say or do. Or even if like it's not just social media people who are in public, eh, people in your kuyas, ates, your parents, they have everybody has a certain influence, everybody has a voice that can affect somebody's thoughts, somebody's mindset, somebody's living. So it's not just the famous people who should be careful, but for everybody. So whenever I feel like someone is being bullied, I definitely stand up for it because some of them probably hasn't had the courage or built up that courage to say something. And I feel like all our experiences is um a story to tell, and we are blessed to be a blessing. So like, if we don't take what happened to us and use it to help other people, parang it's all for vain.
Definitely.
So I really feel like we should use our learnings from the past, the things that we've learned, and help other people who is still yet to learn it. So yes, I would gladly.
Definitely. Gladly, we would intervene. And of course, I actually wanted to ask you guys also on how to use your platform in the best possible way to help other people as well. But before that, I just want to say hello to the growing audience that we have over here. We've got quite a few people who've been watching us tonight. We have Elaine Fatima, who's all the way from Abu Dhabi. What's up, girl? We also have Mike Filon. We have Kelly Ren, we have JL, uh, Hilarion, we have some of your family in the audience. We have Jackie Lou, Oliver, and we have so many people. And I just want to thank everybody for coming together on a Thursday night, which in Dubai is the start of your weekend. On a Thursday night to come and listen to our talk and share your input as well. And yeah, I also want to say hello to Danielle, Francisco, Jingay Dinsai, and we got so many more people along the way. And we even have some comments here actually from Ashi Sato. Bullying is totally wrong, and if you know someone who's bullying someone and you have the capacity to stop it, you should. And I'm going to tie this in with your what you just said earlier, Tina, because um, There are a lot of aspirational models out there. That everybody looks up to celebrities, everybody looks up to influencers, icons, and whatnot. But I think a large part of using your platform in the best way possible is also to spread an advocacy that can easily make your followers more like-minded, because not only are you defined by your morals, that's not a word, also defined by the people that follow you. You will become whoever you associate with. And in using your platform, Kenzo, since you're young, you're an aspiring influencer. Actually, you're very talented already, and I see you going nowhere but up. So if you know, see, Tina was
Yeah.
pinching your cheeks over there.
Ate Tina, papapisil din.
Yeah.
Chubby Chicks gang.
Definitely cheeks for the win. Yeah, but
Yeah.
how would you use your platform, to spread an advocacy of kindness and everything? Because that's what an influencer does. They influence something, whether it's a decision or a mentality. So how would you do that? How would you proceed from here?
All right. So first of all, I don't think I'm that big of an influencer, but you don't have to really be that big to be the influencer to influence people. And influence the term influencer nowadays is just kind of overrated. But what I do with me and my viewers, um, I call them Yamasushis because they call themselves Yamasushis. And I made a GC, a group chat for them. And well, basically, they can talk about anything there. Maliban sa you know wrong things, but they can share stories there. They can share their experiences, and they can also you know check up on each other. And I think I posted a post on Facebook regarding bullying, and with another influencer posting wrong ideas about bullying. And doon ko na-realize na marami palang, and like some people started to DM me and message me na, Kuya, I've gone through bullying as well, and nabully rin ako, and I've had experiences, and I just want to thank you that you chose to spoke up about that matter. And doon ko na-realize na, oh my God, and that, like, it's still happening. And we should not stop talking about it, and we should not stop, um, yeah, speaking about how bullying can affect lives of people. And yun, that's what I think. That's what I do with kind of influencing people. I make sure um, my viewers, my Yamasushis, look out for each other, and we sometimes talk about how we could help each other with those things. And yeah, siguro yun lang yung magagawa ko for them because we're all really far.
Well, that's amazing. That's really amazing because you just mentioned that you guys are really far. It really does not take much to reach out to somebody now. Um, it's as simple as sending someone a hello text if you haven't talked to them in a while. And
Just checking up on them,
believe
simple as that.
definitely, and believe me when I say that this can even prevent suicide from happening.
Suicide, yes.
I've had some friends in my life who would have exhibited these kinds of tendencies, and all it really took was just for me to go message them on Facebook or WhatsApp, and I tell them, "Are you okay? How have you been?" Or even just like sending them. You go on WhatsApp and then you send them one of those selfies na parang double chin, and like just like even those funny
Just to make them
weird
laugh.
things, just to make them laugh. And
Yeah.
it's so small, and we should not forget that. We should really not forget that because we should help bring out the best in each other. And in bringing the best of yourself, Mariska, I'm gonna direct this to you now. You always promote yourself to be at your element. You're always in your element. It's all 100 on your Instagram. And I think, I mean, coming from me and coming from a lot of people who even just want to project themselves, I think it's aspirational that you're presenting yourself in a certain light, because that will also determine how other people want to present themselves. Is that correct?
Um, well, uh, okay. First of all, yung Instagram ko kasi is, it is partly very personal. As much as I use it for work, it's very personal. So whatever I put out there, it speaks a lot about me and my life, basically. So as much as I can project good, then I would. Ganun lang kasimple, I guess. And the influence part, I absolutely hate that word. I don't like it. I think it has not served its real value with a lot of people. So I don't like calling myself that. But if I can, I forgot kung sino si Kenzo ata yung nagsabi, you don't have to be big to be able to influence people.
Sorry, I think you got cut over there for a moment.
The internet is sudden. Yeah, so
There you are.
yeah, it's a huge responsibility for us to be to spread kindness or spread goodness, kumbaga. So as much as you can project that, I think it's good. Kasi if you can reach out to one person, you can reach out to a lot. Ganun lang yun. So you don't need
Very
to reach
much
out
true.
to a million people, kahit isang tao lang. And especially with bullying, we don't know na these people who do it, they don't realize, a lot of them, they don't realize the kind of hurt that they project. And there are people who are, like for me, who are not strong enough to handle it. And as you said, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, it gets to that, you know. There is a point that it gets to that. And I think that's one thing that that's very important, na kailangan at the end of the day, we try to help each other so that whatever you say or whatever you impart out there, be kind with your words, because know better, kumbaga. Know better, do better. Because you'll never know na you might actually hurt someone. And killer ka na in the end. Alam mo yun, it's not easy to accept na you are responsible for someone breaking down. And bullying breaks down people. You know, being
Bullying definitely breaks down people. And if anything, I think, the sole purpose of bullying, even though people don't realize it, is simply to make someone feel smaller than they already are.
exactly.
And this is the big issue at the end of the day. This is why we've come together to talk about this. And I'm so glad, actually, that we have so many people that are weighing in on the discussion, even in the comments right now. So, guys, request na lang, if you have any questions, if you see any questions directed to you and you think you could share a little bit of insight here and there, please do. And I totally get what you guys mean by not liking the word influencers too. I think what I'm really just trying to say is that we're all in a position to influence people, whether we like it or not. So I think it's time we really become more thoughtful, and instead of considering how, I mean, it's okay to be a little selfish in the sense that you do have to take care of yourself once in a while, but it's more about ngayon na, it's more about being able to move on from being selfish to be able to become more empathic, because I think this is what a lot of people are, I'm quite sorry to say, but a lot of people are really lacking in it nowadays. And we will end up losing a lot of it, even if we just get caught up in other things. So it's always about grounding yourself and making sure that you are connected still uh, to
And then
other people.
that's one of the things na Teena, as she said, it's always important to empower each other, because when you do, you lift up people's confidence, you lift up people's spirits. And when you do that, it's so much more easier to deal with these kinds of negativity, be it personally, in your life that you live every day, or online. And I think yung online is the most toxic of them all. So when you do get online, just be mindful na to know how to protect yourself. So that's why it's always important to empower the people around you, your followers or your family or whoever who's around you, kasi it makes them stronger. So, kumbaga, yeah, let's do it together that way.
Let's do it together, and let's always promote the best in ourselves. And I have Elaine Fatima in the audience saying, "Just kill them with kindness." And I think that today it's quite shocking because that statement actually becomes more and more and more true and more relevant today. Um, Ngayon na that we're all distanced from ourselves, even distance from each other, it's really just about showing that you care, like I said. So that pretty much brings it to we're at the home stretch of our conversation, guys. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining us for this one. I want to thank everybody, including the Yama Sushi gang. Shout out to everybody there for chilling with us here. We have people joining in from the Middle East. We have people coming from America to watch this. People from the Philippines. People from Japan who are here. So it's all that. So guys, don't forget, I'm going to be posting all of our social media tags as well at the description, and it's really really going to help out if we can just connect with like-minded people. And I hope at the end of the day too that this live stream has actually you found some point to relate to, or at least someone to relate to, because we did this because we want to tell everybody we're here. You can talk to us, and invite your friends as well. Invite anybody who would be able to benefit from this topic. Invite from Hilarion. Is that your cat over there?
Yep. Paybacks. Say hello to everybody.
Andyan na si Max. So please, guys, invite everybody so that we can see more of Max as well. And
Can I just say something again before we end?
oh, don't worry, we're gonna do final
I'm like a
messages
word
anyway.
vomit.
So don't worry,
No,
Tina.
kasi
What's your final message here?
yes, kasi ako, like, I've had a lot of experience, like, with online, whatever, and I feel like I've come to a conclusion. I guess maybe that's why I just really want to say, I've been writing it down, so, because I'm very forgetful. So, for me, I feel like, because social media doesn't come with an instruction manual, people just get on it, and sometimes people don't deserve a platform. Let's be honest. A lot of people there just do it for the wrong reasons. People there just do it not wanting to care about the effect that they can do to the world. So, like, I feel like something that I want to tell to people who are viewers or people who may not be necessarily interested in joining social media as a job. All I want to say is don't compare yourself to social media. We are all posting our bests, and you guys have the normal, and we are only showing our best parts of the day. We have 24 hours in a day. We're only showing one picture of our day. It's curated. It's true. It's edited. It's showbiz. At the end of the day, it really is. So you have to get that in your head that not everything we see is reality. It's literally showbiz in your phone. And that's just the truth. Like, some people really do show their 24/7, but most of the time it's really curated. And also, pick who you follow. Who are you following? Are people you're following giving you more insecurities about your body, making you want to look like a certain size or whatever, making you not love yourself? Who are you following? Sabi nga nila, people, like, you can really tell a person's personality from their Instagram. So who are you following? Are you following people who are making you feel bad? Or are you following pages that, like, lift you up and, like, encourage you to be better, grow business, self love, whatever, in all aspects? Choose who you follow. Remember, you
Choose
guys
who
can
you
follow
follow.
and unfollow, guys. And
Definitely.
also have a community, right? Like what Kenzo is doing. Meron siyang Yama Sushi. For me, I have a Maganda Ako period because I have an advocacy called hashtag Maganda Ako period. It's true. When I started that, I didn't know that there were so many people out there who was like me. And it's so true. Once you find your group, it could be your literal group at church, your friend group, online group, social media group. Even for me, like Kumu has been like an outlet for me where I meet new people. We have a community. It's super supportive. So like surround yourself with good, positive, like
Surround yourself with good
surrounding. Yeah.
energy, and definitely
Correct.
proceed with caution, because a
Mm-hmm.
follow and an unfollow is the same difference between, it's the same, it's pretty much the same when it comes to choosing the red pill or choosing the blue pill.
Correct.
Choosing what you want or choosing what's better for you. It's definitely like that at the end of the day. And now I want to ask Hilarion, do you have a final message for everybody that you would like to share before we close this live stream?
Oh, yes. I want to go back to basic. With this complicated world, with this toxic environment, with this pandemic, we are all confused. We have this anxiety. People react, differently. But I want to go back to the basic. Walang pinanganak na bully. Walang pinanganak na hater. We all came from a source of love, a source of kindness. Now, if these people that you're gonna meet, bullies online, definitely, they have bad experience. They are depressed. They have anxiety. They all have this negative energy or influence in their lives. So from that point of view, siguro, instead that you will react to them, you will give them compassion. Okay, because the more you react to them, the more you become angry also with them. Doon sila nagkakaroon ng energy. So if we either ignore them or be kind to them, I think that's the best. Advice I could share to you all tonight.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Hilarion. Mariyah, any words from you?
Love yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Take away on it. Love yourself, because you're not gonna be broken down if you're strong enough to handle that hate. So love yourself and choose the people that you're with. Choose the community that you're with, and don't always believe the influencers. I'm sorry, I'm apparently one, but as Teena said, I'm a photographer. I know how to direct myself. I know how to photograph with good light. It's not real. This is not real. So um, never ever let what others say affect you, or what you see affect you. You do you, and that's what's important, because it's your life. Treasure it, love it, and yeah, live it. Don't
Go
ever
forth, darling. Live it. Live your life.
live
That's
it.
how it's done. That's definitely how it's done. And I think another take on actually from what you just said also is wait, I lost a thought just now. Another take up from what you just said is also to promote transparency. In this day and age of social media, the rapid digitization of everything, we are in a time where AI can do a lot of things now. Deepfakes are a thing. Filters are a thing. I mean, let's be real. Who turned on the retouch my face option before joining before joining this Zoom chat? See, I think too. Dapat na lang makinis ng mukha ko kasi. And of course, I have like three lights over there, so that's just another. But being able to admit all of that, of course, being able to admit that makes you all the more a genuine person in the end, and
And
that's something we should not forget.
I think it's always important, especially when you're on social media. um, I've been called a fake lots of times, and I don't get affected by it because I know better. Kumbaga parang, because you're the only one who should know you. So like I know better. And it shouldn't affect you, and you should know, like, siguro naman, we're all very much educated, and I think it's more of education that we should educate people that social media is not real. As Teena said, it's photoshopped. It's you get only a snippet of the day of a person, so you don't know anything more than what's being shared. And I personally, I don't share a lot. I share what I want you to see. I have full control over what I share. So for you to judge me or to how do you say tawag dito, base your opinion about me on what you see, I think it's wrong. And it's always wrong, because there is so much more to that person behind that Instagram account than what's there on your stories.
Yeah. And while I do think that that judging, it's something that we can't always escape. We always have what you call a gut feeling, or we always do have our assumptions about certain people here and there. But what really defines us is how we act and how we're able to move on from that. And Kenzo, you especially, like today, you've just proven that someone as young as you can already be capable of being able to give so much in the way of words, relations, and so much more. So with all of that, what are the last words that you can say to this audience before we end this show?
I just wanted to say, let's mind our own businesses. I feel like I've said that so many times online. Like, if there's anything you have to mind your own business. Like, yun lang. And there's a lot of things that we can do and like improve on ourselves if we mind our own businesses. Like, stop commenting on other people's businesses. If gusto nila mag-TikTok, let them TikTok. If gusto nila mag-YouTube, let them YouTube. Diba? If gusto nila magluto, post sexy pictures of themselves, let them do that. Stop commenting on other people's pictures or posts every time, or their appearances, because at the end of the day, they're trying to either be confident with themselves, bettering themselves. So maraming rason kung ba't nila ginagawa yan. So, and we don't know them, and so let's tama si ate Mariyah. Let's be bigger. Let's be the bigger person.
Let's be the bigger person. Definitely.
So yeah,
Kenzo, you've just proven that there is hope. You've just proven that there is hope. We have a lot of judgmental people who are looking at Gen Z or Gen Alpha or even the millennials, and they're saying, "Oh, y'all millennials are so sensitive. Y'all are
reputation ng generation namin ngayon, because they think it's all about social media and stuff like that, and looks and all that." But really though, like them, they're just minding their own businesses, and if we all have to do is support each other, like lift each other up, I think then magsa-start yung good
and
good
positivity
energy.
is contagious.
Yeah, true.
Positivity is contagious. Definitely.
And
So
for me, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Go on ahead.
Like for me, my way of spreading positivity is through vlogs and music. So if I just wanted to say to the viewers that if you think this would make you feel good about yourself, or if this thing you think would give people positive vibes or happiness or would make them enjoy, then do it. Diba? If kaya mong gawin, then do it.
Do it. If kaya mo, then kaya ko. It's as simple as that. And once we begin to respect everybody, and of course, privacy settings and everything, but like once we've begun to respect everybody, and once we began to, if not appreciate, at least tolerate all the kinds of things that we see, especially on social media nowadays, then that's when social media becomes a safe space. And actually, speaking of a safe place, I just want to promote a little bit of Kumu here, because Kumu is actually so good at making a safe space out for you. Because get this, you download the app and then you go live, and you just need to put in the categories that you want to go into, and you find so many people that are like you. like I went on my first live stream. Tina, please invite everybody to Kumu over here. Please, what can you say to the fans? Where can
Okay,
we see more of you?
guys, Kumu is. I personally just started almost 3 months ago, but I can say na lalo na during this pandemic where, like I said, it's very toxic outside. You find a place where you feel safe and find a community where what I like about Kumu kasi, apart from other apps and social media, is they really strongly advise to keep it PG, keep it like bawal negativity, bawal ganyan. They will really, I love it because it makes me feel like they're invested in their streamers. They're not just like typical capitalists. Okay, as long as they're earning, as long as they're getting all the top streamers and the top influencers, blah blah blah. Like I love that they're really emphasizing that, guys. If you have problems, don't put it out on Kumu. Let's keep this a good like place to be in. I just really like it, and honestly, everybody there since I've started, they didn't pay me. Okay, to say this. This is really out of my experience, and ako when I really love something, I'm really very excited about it. So, like, I really love it there. Everybody's just super supporting each other. Like I said, when you said, nga, diba na, oh, I'm gonna start Kumu competition, I'm like, go, fly, come on, I'll support you. Like, everybody there is literally like that talaga. Once you meet people, they'll come view you as well. They'll watch you. They'll support you. Like, it's just all been, of course, I mean, there's probably drama everywhere, but like so far, all I've seen is just positive feedback from my end. And I think people should really realize na go into social media that can contribute to your sanity in a time like this.
Yeah, and you
Let's
get to
not
meet
go
so
somewhere
many
it's negative.
like-minded people, and at the same time,
Yes.
so many cool people are on the thing as well. Like yesterday, we were just watching a show. Suddenly, Mayor Isko Moreno just dropped in, and he started broadcasting the whole Kumu live
Yeah.
stream, and everyone's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Whoa!"
Yes.
And it adds another layer of coolness to people because it adds another layer of realness to them
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. And on a place like that, and of course, even here on a discussion like this, all we want to do is we want to keep it and keep it as in keep it easy. That's how we do. So, guys, to summarize our live stream, what is a bully? It's someone that wants to make you feel smaller by projecting their insecurities and stress onto you. How do you deal with a bully? One, you kill him with kindness. Two, you surround yourself with kindness. Three, you allow yourself space and time to grow. Four, you curate your lifestyle around you. That was the bonus takeout there. And of course, at the end of the day, more than anything, you have to understand them. We need to practice empathy at the end of the day. And speaking of the end of the day, we are now at the end of our show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Hilarion, Tina, Mariyah, Gaspacho, and Kenzo. Alam ko na it's very late over there in the Philippines and Japan, so please do go ahead. Tayo over here in the Middle East, it's just about dinner time for us right now. And gutom na ako. So guys, thank you all for tuning in. Guys, we have so many comments here as well. I promise we will all get back to them one way or another. Yamasushi Gang, Kumu Gang, Illustrata team, everybody here. Thank you so much, guys. And that pretty much brings up the end of the show. So I'm Paolo, everybody. You're watching another episode of Illustrata This Week Live. We got plenty more comment to come down, and we got plenty of content coming to Kumu very soon, y'all. So stay safe, everybody. Be
Thank you.
kind and love yourself. Peace,
Bye.
everybody.